See, then I can recording. Now I can also recording. Just we're recording this right now. By the way, everybody who does urine therapy is self-certified. So you have my blessings. You're now a certified teacher. And since we're an unorganized community of 30 million people who are all self-empowered and self-certified, we can follow our own guidance and intuition to help and serve our brothers and sisters when they come and call on us. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And since we're not medically oriented or medically trained, it's a good idea to not misrepresent yourself. And it's also a good idea to not make any claims or any about cures and about anything that Urine can do, even though we're getting testimonials left and right. That's what we're standing on, is our personal experiences. So we don't get in trouble.
All right.
Okay, guys, we still got a couple more minutes. What is this? Oh, it's a screen share.
It's a screen share, so I can share. Okay, good. I just want to make sure before we got started here, I could share. Okay.
What is the magnification of
that? It's big.
Big. Okay, big. Hi, Eli.
So I think that is 40 times plus the camera is 25 times. So you add those together. It's big. So I have a condenser camera on my microscope.
Wonderful, wonderful. Eli, welcome. Oh God, he's a brother after my own heart. He's gonna water himself down. You didn't bring a nebulizer. Oh, that's gonna be Matt. Oh, Harry won't be able to make the call today. In case you guys heard that.
Is this the first time that Harry's like not on this call ever in the world?
He was late last time.
He got a half an hour off, but since we've mentioned him 3 times, he's here with us in spirit. And the dude's growing an awesome beard, so more power.
Amazing beard, amazing beard.
Christopher, welcome to the call. Everybody, you know Christopher McCord. He's my buddy at the Shivambu community out here in Colorado.
Everybody, let me change my name here.
All right, Guinea Pig, welcome to the call. Hey, Brother Matt's in the house. Guinea Pig, what's your name? She moved away from the disconnecting the audio.
This is Diana I told you about with the animals.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
I love what you're doing with the animals and can't wait to get something in the form of a testimonial. Not that the animals could write that down, but you could.
Yes, and animals aren't subject to the placebo effect, so you really know it works for every reason that it should. Yeah.
Exactly. You cannot mess with an animal's consciousness.
So what are you doing with the animals?
When I've just treated several animals with urine topically. Actually, some of them have lapped it as well for various ailments.
And with human urine or their urine?
Yes. No, human.
Human.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like I have a friend that has like 400 sheep, and he's always like, if some sheep gets like sick or something, he always gets some kind of injection, antibiotic into them and stuff. And I was wondering, like, is it possible to like do the same with urine, like instead of those things for like constipation and other problems? Maybe farmers could use it, like to reduce their cost and stuff.
I was inspired by John Armstrong's Water of Life with the chapters where he gave many examples, a few examples where it was used in veterinary use for horses, chickens, I can't remember what else, but he, he gave examples there, and I've had really remarkable success. Animals that definitely would have perished had it not been for that treatment.
Mhm.
And it's
Well,
also,
I heard about that book, but I wasn't. I never like read it, but I should really. Do you have maybe like a PDF version or something that like I can just take?
Just buy it, invest in it, baby, invest. And it's an exchange of energy, baby. Invest into it. You got Brother Sage's book. Spend the money, baby. Spend the money.
If you're in a pinch, go to the Shivambu Hut or shivambu.org, and we've got it there on PDF. Don't we, Christopher?
well, we have the protocols.
Okay, well, connect with anybody here on the line. We can direct you there.
Yeah.
Or go to Amazon.
Actually, I'll put a the link in the chat, and you can get the a good part of the book, 95 pages of the book. It's you can download that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I usually like before I buy the book, like I download it and then I print it and then I have like a bunch of books printed here, and I kind of save some money for doing further experiments with something different and this kind of stuff.
Well, wonderful, guys. Let's bring this meeting to order here. Thank you, Christopher. We're going to do our housekeeping and go over screen etiquette for you guys that are new to screen etiquette. Now, we've been working on these calls now for 8 times. We started this back in February, I'm guessing, and this is call number 9. And today we're going to talk about the Shivambu movement. And if you guys have been paying attention, you'll know what the heck I'm talking about. Meanwhile, some of the etiquette is as follows. Oh, by the way, Anja, are you here?
Hey, yes.
Anja's in the house. Miguel, welcome to the call. If I miss anybody, let me know.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Glad to have you here. So if you can, try to be mindful of the following. If you want to say something, raise your hand. This way people won't talk over each other and you get a chance to get to your point and finish what you're saying here. Number 2, avoid eating. Drinking is highly encouraged if you've got the right drink. No, we're not going to judge you. But get your drink together. Number 2, try not to be chewing, eating, or something. If you want to eat something, try to just flip off your camera. If you're Rico and other people who are health enthusiasts, John DePass, please don't be doing your yoga and your fitness program in front of the camera. You guys have seen that. And since Harry's not here, I can call him out, guys. Slow down your presentation. There is no hurry. Every word you say, we want to hear from you. So please breathe and take your time. Other than that, it's wide open for our conversations to go in all kinds of directions. Anybody wants to say anything before we move forward? Eli, unmute yourself.
Should we do like 30-second intros just real quick?
Yeah, let's make it a minute. Go ahead and start us off, Eli.
Hi guys, my name is Elijah Barber. I got introduced to urine therapy 7 months ago. I was an extremely unhealthy type 1 diabetic. I had a massive porn addiction. My whole world was crumbling right in front of my own eyes and I couldn't even see it. Hit a low point in life and met a man who introduced me to urine therapy, and I thought it was the craziest thing in the world. I'm like, you want me to drink my own pee? It's waste, like no way. And I go home and I start researching online and I come across the angel of water, Mr. Brother Sage, as well as Harry online. And these guys were diving in it, swimming in it. And I'm like, man, like other people are doing it. Let me take a sip. I took a sip, never looked back. And as of right now, as a type 1 diabetic, I'm taking less insulin than when I was first diagnosed 20 years ago. My health is completely under control and we are pushing the limits, not pushing the limits, but we're just growing the butterfly wings, baby, with urine therapy and just allowing for the body to heal. So it's a blessing to be here and I'm excited to get groovy with all you guys.
Now that's the kind of brother I like in this family right there, what he just said. Darlene, give us a minute of what you can.
Hi, I'm Darlene Tian. I'm a vitality expert and a naturopath. And, I am using the water of life and all my tools to heal myself and help heal others. And I just love this movement and the healing effects.
Thank you. Anja, give us a minute of what you're doing with your life in urine therapy.
I give you, okay, well, I don't know really what to say. I love drinking the from my golden fountain, and I'm indulging in it more and more. And I'm at awe. I'm in awe.
As we all are. Dave Phillips, give us a minute of what you got.
So I'm Dave. Many years ago, I had a lot of health problems. I had really bad irritable bowel syndrome, something called gastrointestinal cystitis. And I was going to have an operation, be my whole life addicted to big pharma drugs. And instead of that, I discovered Urine looping and the healing power I've seen for myself, and it completely healed me. I didn't have the operation, and I'm not addicted to any big pharma drugs. So I absolutely love it. And I wrote the book, Where the Sages Told Me.
It's right. It's right up there. Christopher,
what's the title? What's the title of your book?
OMAD Urine looping. The OMAD is the 1 meal a day, but that's not as important as the urine looping.
I see. And is that on like Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon.
Okay, I'd like to be an affiliate for that to help you sell that. So I'm
yes, please.
Yeah,
excellent. Thank you.
I'll look for it. My name's Christopher, and I've been doing urine therapy for 30 years. And recently, what I'm trying to bring to this movement is marketing, and how you know. For instance, I'm helping Sage with his products, his Shivambu products, and getting people, into a marketing funnel that with upsells, so they get a free gift, they get the protocols for free, and then if they're interested, they can buy his book, and then if they're interested, they can take his class, which is starting next Friday. And then if they want to do a consultation with him, they can choose that. So yeah, I built the Shivambu.org website, and I started the Shivambu Hut. So that's, yeah, I bring those technical skills, and basically, this is the health of the future, of our future, and how do we get it out so that more people know. More people can be certain about their health rather than relying on this this crumbling, infrastructure of what people call our health, industry.
Thank you, Christopher. Before we jump over to Matt, just want to let you know the current count of members at Shivambu Hut is 192 members. Yay. And as far as we're going with this one, it's a free membership. So you get to enjoy all the content that all the members add to the Shivambu Hut, that I add, and Christopher adds, and each and every one of you. I know Matt's a member. Eli, you're a member, right? We like to get some more content. Keep it fresh, keep it exciting. Matt, give us a minute.
I'll put a link, a join link in the chat if anybody's interested.
Thank you, Christopher.
Hey, so probably 4 or 5 years ago, I started having like spiritual awakening symptoms, just for lack of a better way to describe it. A lot of undiagnosable issues, fatigue, memory loss, but the body's fine. Doctor has no idea what's going on, sort of thing. And so there's a lot of feeling of energy blockage, and this is honestly the best thing I found for releasing energy blockages. And I really got more involved in the urine therapy community through Harry Matadine, and our discussions about structured water, how urine is tightly structured, how aging it structures it more. This is at least what we're thinking. And then also nebulizing urine. And so I'm very interested in inducing fevers to help clear and make our gel water, better structured internally by nebulizing both fresh and aged urine. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Matt. I'd love to see you put together an instructional video on nebulizing and turning this precious water into vapor that can bypass the chambers that normally liquid can't. When you want to open up the pineal gland and the sinuses and rehydrate this whole cranial set area, I'd love to see you do that, or I'll work with you if you want.
Yeah, I saw your video about the sinus thing. That's a great point. Yeah, I think we should do it together. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. All right, who's next? You've written guinea pig. What is your real name again?
Diana.
Diana, thank you, sweetie. Can you give us a minute or two about what you're doing with Shivambu?
Well, it comes sort of at the, I won't say the end because maybe there's still more to discover, but it comes late in a long path of healing, which started by being from a mainstream medical family, initially in North America, where I grew up. And I had lupus first, and believed everything that the mainstream believed. And it was decades and decades of watching all the horrendous treatments that were recommended by those who cared for me, you know, the connections I had to the mainstream medical industry, and seeing that nothing worked. That I initially put that into remission about 10 years ago by adopting something like a paleo diet, but not exactly. It was much more restricted than that. And that was really an awakening to realize that there was something out there, some magic out there that could heal the body. Unfortunately, that was followed very closely by cancer. And I still didn't discover the water of life with cancer, but adopted another alternative, very old-fashioned cancer treatment. Was able to heal the tumor, but I knew that the underlying cause was still not addressed, and that although I was looking in fabulous health compared to perhaps 10 years prior, the journey was still, there was still more healing and detoxing to address. And so urine therapy came to me after having healed the tumor, but not the underlying cause, a few years ago. And I've used
1 minute.
1
minute, wrap it up, 1 minute.
Yeah, I've used it a lot for detoxing for animals, guinea pigs, chickens, lots of topical use. And I've also had some fabulous sort of third eye Kundalini wild experiences that I think have a lot to do with having snorted the water of life at the beginning of my, when I started, I used it both internally, both through the nasal passages and ingesting it. So yeah, and I'm still experimenting and learning, and it's really wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you on this call. Glad to have you in our water family. By the way, our water family is now numbered up to 30 million pee drinkers in 50 countries. Does that give us strength or what?
Wow.
Thank you. We're going to do a communion in just a minute here. Miguel, give us a minute or so of what your journey's like, and tell us about you and Shivambu.
Beautiful. My name is Miguel Santiago. I'm in Jersey, and I am a divorced father of 3. I came across Shivambu back last year on October 2nd, and I started urine therapy on the 2nd and have not stopped since I began drinking it. I've seen a bigger difference within my body. The inflammation, my gut being flushed out, also within my eyes, clearing my eyes as well, seeing clearer. I place it in my hair as well, so my hair has been growing fuller, my skin a lot softer when I'm sharing with it. I have 2 bottles of aged urine that I have now. They're about 5 or 6 moon cycles, so I am on here to learn more about how to properly use that. So thank you for welcoming me here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you spoke up. Christopher will be posting how to get the list. It's a 95-page ebook on all the protocols.
Yeah, it's right there in the chat.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I've been invited by through Eli, so thank you. Eli is a good friend of mine.
Great, you're in good company. Nicola.
Hello,
ever...
I'm Nicola. I'm from Serbia. My discovery of urine therapy kind of wasn't as immediate as some of you guys. It was kind of like a long process. Like growing up, I went to elementary school, high school, and I saw a bunch of contradictions there. And in 7th grade, I decided I want to like discover the purpose of life or something. And I started my spiritual journey. My spiritual background is Orthodox Christian, because that's like how my family operates. My grandpa was a priest and things like that. And I discovered like a great joy and peace there. And I found out that there is something that was keeping me not finding that kind of joy before that. So I started questioning everything, like the food that I'm eating, the water that I'm drinking, place that I'm living, air that I'm breathing. And then I came across the urine therapy and started reading, started putting it through my nose, through my ears, in my eyes. Of course, my complete family thought I'm crazy, but my health went better and better. And now I'm here to, I guess, to be enlightened to perfection. Really glad that I'm invited and I would like to learn more.
Well, I'm glad you're with us. Thank you so much. And it was wonderful to be able to join forces with you and be a teacher for you. We've got a lot of learning to do, but it's because of folks like you, Nicola, that we have these Zoom calls and that we have a movement. And every one of us were newbies at some point in time. And every one of us at some point had to go through our mind talk about what urine was supposed to be. And we discovered that urine is really ultrafiltered golden blood plasma water. It's activated, it's distilled, it's got 3,000 compounds, it's got stem cells, antibodies. For guys right now that are dealing with an overworked immune system, a compromised immune system, adrenal glands are going to hell, your nervous system is shot, you need to get the nutrients in there. The ones I'm aiming for right now are magnesium, melatonin, serotonin, oxytocin, DHEA. It's in there, guys. And so when people want to know if this is good for them, you can approach it nutritionally, or you can approach it just from your own personal experience. But either way, you guys are not being shy about telling people. And Nicole is finding out that this lifestyle and this way of being is more important than your concerns about being rejected or criticized. So grab your Shivambu. Did I miss anybody? Boonmi, did you get to say hi to everybody?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my name is Bumi Smaila. I'm from Nigeria, West Africa country. I know about Shivambu, but long years ago. I can say when I'm just like a baby. But when I've grown up in 2017, when I developed some certain symptoms of prostate cancer and some other things, I have to link around the whole universe. That is how I got to know Anthony A.K. King, who put my courage, called me, for first time. And the person I don't even know before, I just make a complaint, and the person called me on phone, say, Bumi, brother, how are you? I said, fine. Say, can you drink it all? I said, drink it all? What is drink it all? He said, drink all your urine. I said, wow. So people are drinking all urine? That's my first time to hear that. Okay, say, okay. I have to drink it all. I try to drink it all. But during that time, I changed my food. I changed my food to vegetable juice and all those things. Then from there, I cure myself, But what people have just told me that it cannot be cured, and then I cure. So I know Brother Sage, I know everybody in universe. Then I have to appreciate everybody because they always supported my challenges. During my challenges time, they supported me by giving me advice, talking to them. Like Brother Sage is a teacher, he's a real teacher who teaches a lot of things, a lot of ideas. I thank you, and I thank everybody in the universe.
All right, thank you, Boonmi. I think he might have muted himself, but since Boonmi brought up A.K. Anthony King, he became a dear friend of mine. I went to the Water of Life Symposium in Las Vegas in 2018, and he amazed me time and time again. First thing he did was he's walking through the entranceway with a big grin on his face, with his arms wide open. He's giving me this great brother hug before I realized I had bonded with this guy for life. It was just incredible. And all the brothers and sisters, there was 80 pee drinkers in a Las Vegas hotel. And the moment you see them, you embrace them. There wasn't even any afterthought. I love you. You drink your water. I want to hug you. I want to know you. And Anthony did things that even surprised me. He would take his brother, who was also a musician. He's a well-known, recognized musician if you haven't looked him up. But he took his brother into the men's bathroom one day and peed into a jar while his friends were watching him, going, what the hell is he up to here? Right? He lifts his jar and tells them all about urine therapy. He says, you got to learn to appreciate your water. And he got his friend to drink his pee. What a way to introduce it to him. So whatever it takes. So guys, grab your Shivambu. Yeah, Bunmi.
Yeah, don't forget Water of Life Symposium. Water of Life Symposium. We cannot forget that group. You cannot forget that group. Yes, it's unforgettable group. We all live in peace. We drink of ourselves to live. That's drink of yourself and live. That's our slogan. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Bunmi. What he was telling us was the slogan of the Water of Life Symposium, which is drink of yourself and live. So grab your water. We're going to do our Holy Communion prayer, which we do every time. And no, I don't have it memorized yet, so I'm going to have to refer to the book. So how this works, Miguel and everybody, is you grab your Shivambu. We're going to do it like we do kirtans with a call or response. And if you're ready, here we go. We still got time to do our conversation. I take this water of life.
I take this water of life.
It doesn't matter if you're muted or not. I take this water of life. I declare it the water of light.
I declare the water of
it
life.
the water of light.
As I bring this water within this body,
As I bring this water within this body,
it allows me to glow.
It
allows me to glow.
You guys are awesome. I take this water of light.
I take this water of light.
I declare it the water of God.
I declare it
the water of
God.
I am the master of all I do and all that I am.
I'm the master
of what I do and what I am.
So be it.
So be it.
Somebody take a screenshot. And if anybody has to pee during the call, you figure it out and come back. Yeah, Boomi's got a jar under the desk. I don't know what's going on over there. So guys, today's topic is on the Shivambu movement. And the Shivambu movement is one of the reasons why we get together. The Shivambu movement is spreading to such an extent that many people are getting an inkling or a vision that we're moving the tipping point closer to moving over, so that not just millions, but we'll reach a point where it's socially acceptable and people won't go, well, you drink your pee, doesn't everybody? And I'd love to see us get to that point. So I've been following this movement. I've been fortunate to be able to talk with the major teachers and elder teachers like Dr. Tal Schaller out in France, Dr. Rajshak Malhotra out in India, the Guptas who've been at it since the 1980s. Some of these guys have been able to either do an interview with me or get on these calls, and it would be nice to bring them back on the call. If anybody can get Monica to join the call, please get her over here. Anthony A.K. King, if you can somehow rematerialize Andrew Norton Weber, please bring him back on the call. So here's a question. Are you aware that millions of people are practicing urine therapy worldwide in 50 countries, and that there actually is a movement? You guys are aware of that?
Yep, many people do it in secret.
In secret. And why is that?
Because of society, I would say, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't do it in secret.
Culturally frowned upon, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how are you guys doing at being able to bridge the gap, or to give this person, it could be a friend, a lover, a family member, a stranger, whatever. How do you help them shift their perception of what they've been led to believe was true, but never considered there was an alternative? How do you approach the subject, guys? Anybody can take this.
I have a crazy story, and I'll keep it short and sweet. So yesterday, Brother Miguel, as well as about 19 of our brothers, we went to the spa, right? And at the spa, we were there all day. And there was a group of men sitting across from us, and they were talking about this gold water. And so, you know, whenever I hear gold water out in public, I'm like, yo, like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, speak up a little bit louder, you know, but they weren't talking about urine. And one of my brothers, his name's Javi, he was like, are you guys talking about urine? And the group, like, they started laughing, like, ha ha, no, like, we're not talking about urine. And as soon as they said no, like, there was a part of me that kind of came up where my ego was like, hey, let's project everything onto them. Let's tell them exactly what's going on. Let's educate them. Like, let's just take this over to reframe that. And as I kind of sat there and just watched these thoughts, because that's what urine will do to you. It will literally increase the consciousness to where you start to become this true observer of life. And as you start to observe, you then can take actions that are guided by God, from my personal perspective. And so the conversation just started like building from there. And I was like, yeah, actually, I drink it every day. And they're like, you don't drink it. You know, they were really like, it was like a battle of the egos. Like, they're like, you don't drink it. And my jar was empty because I just finished, you know, almost a whole half liter of it. And I was like, yeah, what do you think I carry this around for? And on here, I have it ingrained that I love God, because I'm increasing my relationship. I'm nurturing my relationship with God right now. And they were like, you don't drink it. And I'm like, I will go fill this up right now and I'll show you. And it wasn't out of the ego, which is something that I've had to really like learn to understand, that I'm not here trying to prove anything to you, but I'm going to show you that I do drink my urine. And so I went in the bathroom, came back, filled it up. And as soon as I walked in, I just took a sip, smiled, and did not say a word, and went and sat down. And as soon as I sat down, light bulbs went off. Like, light bulbs went off. And they still didn't believe it. So they came over, they put their hand on the glass to make sure that it was warm. And it was warmer than ever. And they knew right then and there that this was real. And here's kind of the point, and I'll wrap it up just to keep it short, because there's much more I could say about that whole experience. But I started to talk to them about what it did with my porn addiction, about what it's doing for my diabetes. And they went from this skeptic mind to, hey, maybe there's a possibility. None of them were going to try it. But guess what? One of my other brothers that has been watching my stories for the past 7 months and has seen my transformation, as soon as I finished talking, he said, Elijah, he says, I'm going to drink it tonight. And so I wasn't even directly talking to him, but the message was still being perceived by me talking to someone else. And so that's like the finest example of what this movement really is doing right now, is the people that are interested, they will take action with it over time.
The seed was planted.
The seed was planted, and you're a great gardener, so keep planting those seeds.
Yeah.
Guptas are here. I'm going to bring you guys on for just a second here, but there was a question that was posed to me by Gabriel. I think he's out in Oregon. And he says, well, if you're gargling it and you're pulling it, which is like coconut oil, pulling it means you'll hold it in your mouth for a while, 5 minutes or so. He says, well, won't it be releasing the toxins and the viruses from your tongue, from your gums, from your teeth, and so forth? I said, are you familiar with the term alchemize? That's all I had to say. He totally got it. Because what's going on is Shivambu is the most powerful antiviral, antifungal, antiseptic, antitumoral, antipathogenic properties on the planet. So what happens is the toxins alchemize themselves and emerge and become the Shivambu. Y'all get that? Because his comment implied that it doesn't work. Why would you even drink it in the first place if you didn't believe in it? It has superpowers. And the more we can move our mind to understanding that love or God or Shivambu wants to embrace you so that all your fears and limitations and negativity gets dissolved and released, you'll never leave this lifestyle. You'll never walk away from this path.
Brother Sage, I have a question, and it's kind of for everyone, but like, when people are just getting started in urine therapy, whether that's through fresh or matured, should there be an intention in the beginning, or should it literally be something as simple as just taking the first sip and maybe an intentional form. What's your guys' experience, maybe perspective with that?
Well, I would say anytime you set an intention, the universe is going to give you 100% support, and that intention will manifest a lot sooner. And just the fact you're holding it before you drink it and just say a little prayer or something, I would say it activates it.
I'd like to say something about that. So I've also been meditating like for 50 years. And so I believe in meditation, the power of meditation. And, you know, there are certain meditation techniques that just work. It's like you don't have to believe in them. But if you do them, they work, you know. And I think urine, and if you bring a certain attitude to that meditation, it's going to work more, or it's going to work in a different direction, you know. And I think urine therapy is the same way. It works. You know, you don't have to believe in it for it to work. But when you do believe in it and you give it an intention, then it works even, you know, it works towards that intention.
Thank you, Christopher. I'd also add to that, a simple thank you goes a long way. Like when you get, I live in a country setting, and I'm painting murals right now. I don't know if anybody caught that on some of these buildings, and wasps and bees fly underneath the awning, underneath the roof, and sting me all the time. I go, yeah, right. This is going to not last very long. So I put my Shivambu on it. The sting goes away in 10 minutes, and the stinger pops out, and it's over with. So I'm acknowledging it. The moment I get anything from a sunburn to any kind of condition, this is the go-to of choice. And when you really integrate this, you don't have to buy nutritional supplements, drugs, shampoo, conditioner, underarm deodorant. You're going to save a lot of money when you get into it.
I have an experience with that also, because my family kind of like traditional business is beekeeping, and I usually go because there is also sting therapy that exists, and I don't mind if like bees like poke me and stuff, sting me, and I go like without my shirt like all the time with the bees and stuff, and they like sting me all the time, and I drink a little bit of urine and put on the few places, and nothing ever happened. One time my eye got swollen, but it lasted only for a day, and like it was fine.
Wonderful. Does somebody else want to add to that? Indira, please introduce yourself. We have not heard from you and VJ.
Well, I got your this flyer. Now I have it, so I'm back. So anyway, I have been really understanding the discussion so far. And again, the mind processes things that your life energy particle gets the impressions. And you have to understand the whole mechanics of the biomagnetism. And then whether you are doing AUT or you are taking allopathy or anything, it has its own rhythm. It has its own domino effect. So clarity of your mind, what, why, and how you are doing this carries it all the way. And I think that meditation does help to clarify. First, your mind, because mind dictates how your metabolic, electrical, and biomagnetism mechanics work.
Working. Yes,
Do you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Is VJ willing to
agree.
say hello?
Vijay is in the bathroom.
He's doing Shivambu therapy. Okay.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey,
so-
I have some
Yeah.
regarding the Shivambu movement. I have something, but I don't want to interrupt you, Indira, if you still have something.
No, please go ahead. I can pick
Well,
up.
what occurs to me is that do we have a manifesto?
Not per se. We do have our mission statement. That's it.
All right. Well, most movements have a manifesto. So I think we should write a manifesto. A real manifesto. Because manifestos, there is a certain form to manifestos, internationally. and they're respected. You know, manifestos are respected. That they become a a mouthpiece for a movement. And if it's done in a certain form, it's respected just because it's done in that form. So I think that would be something worth tackling.
Excellent. Well, if you can kickstart us and get the ball rolling, then everybody has a chance to add something to it. I would like to bring on Darlene here in just a second here. She's got something to screen share and to enlighten us with. But the reason I want to bring her on here, because when people come up to me, and I'm sure they've come up to you, and they'll ask the question, will Shivambu heal this? Will Shivambu heal that? Will it heal diabetes, multiple sclerosis? Will it heal AIDS? Will it heal cancer? Will it heal COVID? And the answer I give them is yes and no. The reason I say that, because we're not talking about a Band-Aid here. We're talking about a lifestyle. And in order to clear out the toxins that have been stored in your intestines, in your cells, in your lymphatic system, in your lungs, in your liver, we're talking about emotional baggage. We're talking about psychological things. That requires a holistic approach where you're going to bring into balance the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Well, we happen to have a naturopath with us today. So, Darlene, please share what you can.
Thank you, Brother Sage. Yeah, healing is a whole practice, like Brother Sage was talking about. You have to heal everything, your spiritual, your emotional, and if you've gone, a significant part of your life without being part of a spiritual practice, without, with getting too much allopathic medicine, and, you could have, different diseases have developed in your body, it's not, Shivambu can heal it, but it can't, it's not going to heal it overnight. And it has to become a lifestyle, and it has to become part of their being in order to see full healing. But some people are so sick that it may cause an extreme detox reaction at first. So some people have to go slow. We are so enthusiastic about drinking it and putting it on our bodies and doing everything, which is great. And I recommend that for everybody. But at the same time, if someone's got some severe medical, things going on, they need to start slow because, they may have some detox reactions that are very undesirable. And they'll have to, whether they want to work with somebody or they just want to go slow on their own course. It takes, and then you got to do the emotional. So we're talking about talking to our waters and doing all kinds of things, which is great and loving it. Some people aren't there yet. Some people are not, don't have the spiritual side yet of what this inner buzz and glow makes you feel. And so, if you can just put a drop on your tongue, it's a good starting spot. Did you have a question?
I do.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you suggest from your experience working with other clients and people who are on the allopathic path for many years? What do they start? Do they start putting it under their tongue, 2-3 drops, or putting their feet in the water, Shivambu?
It all depends, like we're all biochemically individual. So it depends on where the toxins are being stored in your body. You know what I mean? Are they having major, skin reactions? Well, it's probably in the intestine. Are they having an autoimmune disease? So, you know what I mean? Some of their DNA has been, messed with, it can heal everything, but, starting with a couple drops and see how that feels. Does it have a reaction? No, then, do a little tiny, bottom of the cup and drink that and see how that feels. Do you have a little bit of a reaction? Well, then just stay with that little bit for, a couple weeks every day and just, kind of expand it from there.
Thank you.
No problem.
Eli, go ahead.
Darlene, I'd be interested to hear your perspective, because I remember 7 months ago, first of all, as a young male, being surrounded by this or deepening the relationship with the ego. 7 months ago, I said, I'm going to reverse type 1 diabetes, and I'm going to do it so fast. Right. I'm going to do it in next month. Like, here we go. Started drinking the urine. I saw all these results, and I'm like, wow, like, it's happening. It's really happening. And I remember when I did my first Urine fast, and I went 6 days on my first Urine fast, but I have to say it was one of the most dangerous things because of what I didn't know. I was truly stepping into the unknown. And my first day on my Urine fast, I experienced ketoacidosis for the first time as a type 1 diabetic. And, you know, after day 6, I decided to break the fast with coconut water. And then I started my second Urine fast, and I experienced, is that Boonme? He's like driving motorcycles, I think.
Yeah, if you guys are not talking, could you mute your audio?
And on the second Urine fast that I did, you know, once again, day 4, I started to experience, it wasn't ketoacidosis, but I had high traces of ketones. Is that Boonme again?
Yeah, maybe Boonme.
That's definitely Boonme music.
Boonme, can you mute your audio if you can?
Okay.
We're glad you're having a party. Elijah, go ahead.
And yeah, just
Boonme, it keeps
2 days
unmuting.
ago, I finished my.
You're unmuted again, Boonme. It keeps happening. It keeps going in and out.
You might be able to mute him, Brother Sage.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
And so yeah, 2 days ago, I finished my 3rd Urine fast ever. And I
Are we
tell
better?
you what, like each Urine fast has taught me so much. But on this 3rd Urine fast, once again, I experienced high traces of ketones. And like in these moments, like it's interesting because I come to a phase where like, do I continue going and push past this? And like my urine tastes like, it's normally sweet. Like it's always been extremely sweet, especially on the diet path that I'm following with the liquids and rarely ever eating. But like when I have these ketones in the pee, like I'm just like, man, like there's just this wild taste to it. And it's like, you know, do I continue looping it and just keep pushing this and pushing this? But quite honestly, like and this is just me being vulnerable, like I'm in a lot of pain during that time frame. And it hurts my body, and like, and I'm super active throughout the day, and like even me sleeping and sometimes is painful when I have these high traces of ketones. And so I'm speaking on this because it's like the journey of like when you're going through severe suffering, specifically with type 1 diabetes, like, yeah, like, you know, it's taken a lot of meditation and prayer, but I'd be interested in just kind of hearing your guys' thoughts if you have any on that. But yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Do you have a body worker?
I just want to commend you, Elijah, on your efforts and your fast. I know it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and I know you want to heal yourself, and that's just amazing. But yeah, when you get to the higher ketone levels, you want to be really careful. You don't want to, you know what I mean, cause yourself to, you know what I mean, black out or, you know, so for you, you know, doing short bursts until you can do the longer ones, I think is better.
Yeah, I agree. Cause like, here's some crazy information. So any type 1 diabetic that is out there watching this, like my sugar readings were averaging, my highest sugar reading during my last Urine fast, I think was like 112. And my lowest was 64. My average was between 70 and 90 throughout 4 consecutive days. And keep in mind, I'm not sitting on my ass all day. I'm out hustling. I'm in door-to-door sales. Like I'm knocking 100 doors a day, talking with energy more than I've ever felt before in my life. And my lowest sugar was 64. And I never drank coconut water. I didn't break it. The problem is that with the ketones, you need to take insulin to balance that out. But when my sugar is so low, like when my sugar is like on the verge of being extremely low, if I take insulin, like the fast is over. And so like this whole message is really teaching me that like this might take, like you have to continue to elevate yourself. And that might mean not doing 100-day Urine fast because maybe you're not ready for that. And maybe doing the periods of, hey, 2 to 3 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week. Oh, and then what about 3 to 4 days a week or 3 to 4 days? And so that message that you just said just hit my heart, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I don't want people, you know, especially if they're really sick, you know, to go out there and think that they can fast on it for weeks and weeks and weeks, because, you know, the toxins come out of the cells, they come out of the bones, they come out of the organs, and they go into your bloodstream, and they can hit you really hard. They can hit you like an overdose. If it's too severe, you know, you might have taken medication as a child that wasn't good for you, or been, you know, other things. And when that comes out, you want to gauge it so that it doesn't cause worse effects. And then you can have your full healing, you know, and you're getting there, Elijah. You're going to get there. You are. So I'm so happy for you.
Thank you for your courage, not only for what you're going through, but what you're adding publicly to this forum. And one of the things that I love about us get together here, and this is the same reason why I love the social networking, is people need a safe place to be able to talk about this conversation, be able to meet with people who get to be vulnerable and open and talk about things that they couldn't talk about with anyone else. So whatever you guys are doing, either online or offline, we have each other to lean on or to get support. If you need any backup, you can contact me or Darlene or Christopher or anybody here, so that we can strengthen what you're doing out there, wherever country you live in.
Yeah, I have a question about urine therapy. In terms of heavy metals, I have to ask, like, for example, if somebody is on a heavy metal detox, or like, for example, I know when people are drinking silica-rich water or eating like a lot of cucumbers that have a silica, that like on the readings that like silica goes in the same time, like is present in the urine as the amount of heavy metals that people, you know, want to detox. And like if people drink that right away, like is that like reingesting the toxins again, or like is it possible that heavy metals are found in the urine, and like how people deal with it?
All right, Darlene. Darlene?
Yeah, so the question is, how do you deal with heavy metals in your body?
Yeah, like if I'm doing a detox protocol that is gonna drive heavy metals through my urine, like should I drink that urine right away, or should I like have some kind of a test or something?
Right, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, is sediment in the urine. And I've done some research since our last talk last 2 weeks to get to the bottom of sediment, little pun, and what it's all about. And so can I show that, Brother Sage? You ready?
Yeah, the screen's all yours.
So this is aged urine, and see the sediment at the bottom? This is what happens over time. It like kind of floats down to the bottom. So all the toxins in your urine floats down to the bottom. And if you took fresh urine and put it through a centrifuge, you know, whipped it around really fast, some of the sediment would come to the bottom, but you'll notice over time that there'd be even more sediment. And I'll show you why. I took a picture with my microscope, and I'm going to try to put it on the screen here now. See if I can bring this up right here.
Darlene, I do have a question when you're done about how to properly store aged urine. I do have, you know, 5-6 moon cycles. So when you're done, I would love to hear more about it.
Sure.
Great, Miguel, we'll get to you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so see this picture here? This is sediment underneath the microscope. So all these darker green spots is the thicker sediment, because light can't go through it. And where I've got the arrows pointed, so this little black spot, do you guys see my arrow pointing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cursor moving around? Okay. So the top black spot is a piece of bacteria. So it could be bacteria, it could be heavy metals, it could be, you know, anything that unwanted that's in the urine. It could be medications. So that little piece. And in the video, you will see, and I don't know if I can bring the video up as easy as I can bring a snapshot up, but what happens is this little piece of bacteria goes over to this white blood cell here, and it engulfs it. And when it engulfs it, all of a sudden it turns into a crystal just like these. And, and then once it turns to a crystal, then it gets heavy and floats to the bottom. So some people are like, is it safe to drink urine? Is it not safe to drink urine? I don't think it will harm you because it's been encased. So if you drink some, it's not going to harm you at all. But to me, if you're drinking aged urine, you might as well just kind of leave the sediment at the bottom because the cells have already done their job, and drink all the good stuff. We've got plenty of supply of urine going on at a really inexpensive price. So, drink the stuff in the middle, use the stuff in the middle, and, as best as you can. And it's just continuing to clean up your urine the more it ages, which is why it gets more potent and more, just effervescent energy flowing. Does that make sense?
So just make sure I understand, because I've had age and like those flakes at the bottom. I've always heard people say that that's like DMT in a way. So is that really? What's your thoughts on that?
It's funny because I've had DMT experiences with urine where I've just taken off like a rocket. But I think it's in the whole energy of it, the whole aura. I don't think it's necessarily in those little particles. I think those little particles are doing their job of cleaning up, you know what I mean? Cleaning up your body and encasing themselves. And once they become encased, then they get heavy and they just kind of float to the bottom.
Thank you for doing this research.
You wouldn't necessarily intake the bottom of that crystallizer, you would, or would you apply it topically?
I would leave it, but some people are loving it. If they're finding good results, and I haven't done a thorough research on, a double-blind study on, applying it topically, does it help or not? But what I've noticed is, so that little top black piece, it was a little piece of black bacteria that was kind of swimming along in the video. And then the white blood cell just kind of encased it. And then all of a sudden it turned green and crystally and kind of, dropped down.
Wow.
Like from the book that I have here about urine therapy, it's from Gennady Petrovich Malachov. That's some Russian guy. I read there that, like, for example, people used to use that sediment to put it in their eyes, kind of like very similarly to like maybe Himalayan salt, like how do you say that?
Crystal salt.
Yeah. When it's like put in the water and it dissolves, and then they put it into their eyes, kind of like a relaxation or something. So, what do you think about that?
I just think that, the liquid that's in the middle has more of, the stem cells, the white blood cells, all the things that are going to clean up things, then the sediment has already been kind of taken care of. So I personally think you would have more effect from just doing the aged liquid than you would the, but maybe I'm wrong, but this is just what I'm seeing on my under my microscope.
Yeah, I'm just asking because I read in the book, so I just want to, hear your opinion on it.
Can I ask a question, Darlene, about the bacteria?
Yes.
So we do know that there's a lot of good bacteria, beneficial, like probiotics and things. So would the body know how to separate the good and the bad, or would there be some good bacteria crystallized in the bottom as well?
Well, if your cells are functioning properly, that means you don't have an autoimmune disease, things are going properly, then that's its job, is to filter out the bad bacteria. When people have autoimmune diseases, that's when it gets confused between the good and the bad. And the body starts attacking itself.
That makes sense. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Darlene.
Yes.
Can you give us the screen back so we can see each other?
Let's see. Stop.
And I also want to ask, like, there's different things that I was researching about urine, like some other therapies that go like along with urine therapy, like IVT, incline bed therapy, or like earthing, grounding. What do you think about those connection with all of those? Can that like help? Because like I know a guy, his name is Andrew Fletcher, and he was saying that when people are sleeping on incline bed, that their kidneys are filtering much better. and urine content is like much richer, and that people can actually benefit more from that. So
Yeah.
what do you think from that?
Yeah, so earthing and grounding is all about negative ions. And if you read, Harry's got a great book about negative ions. If you read, go onto Amazon, Kindle or Amazon, read his book on negative ions. Earthing, grounding, and aged urine all has a high concentration of negative ions. And so when we're not connected to the earth, we have more positive ions in our body and we begin to feel unsettled. And this is why, you know, the urine has been so great, because it can help us feel that connection to ourselves and to the earth. And that is the beginning, I believe, of spirituality, is learning how to feel that connection. And people might not be there to talking to your Urine and all that and giving it messages until they feel that inner connection. You know, once they feel that inner buzz and that inner glow from either meditation or urine therapy, or, you know, then they can, you know, really honestly, you know what they're doing in terms of being able to put out that message to everybody and themselves. And the great thing is, you know, so whether, you know, you're going to structure, you can even, you know, if you're drinking fresh urine, you can even structure it by swishing it, or by putting it through a structuring machine, or by singing to it. I've been singing to mine lately.
Do you mind? Ooh, there we go. Yeah.
Party time.
So
I would love to combine negative ions and the sediment at the bottom with the last thing you mentioned, structured water. So one really important subcategory under structured water would be exclusion zone water, which is that gel phase water that I think our cells are made of, gel instead of liquid. And that gel is hexagonal in its molecular formation. That hexagram has a negative charge on the inside. That negative charge allows for the exclusion of all positively charged everything, which is a lot of toxic material, apparently, is mostly positively charged. Right. And as we, like you said, you can vortex the water, the urine, and the sediment will be more likely to settle on the bottom. I think your bacteria observation is fascinating. And I want to square it with this structured water, because I'm inclined to think that most of this separation would be a water structure thing. One thing I'm really unsure about is, you know, is it really true that all things bad are positively charged? And all we need is this negative water to exclude everything. That seems a little bit too broad of a stroke, but that's where I'm at the moment.
I think we need to even it out. So I don't think it's all bad, things are bad or good. I think we need an, you know, a more even distribution. And most people living in our culture tend to have too many positive ions.
Yeah.
And so the increasing of the negative, whether it's through structuring or whether it's through drinking, because the sediment going to the bottom, it's encapsulating, you know, anything that would be positive. So that piece of bacteria would be positive. So it's encapsulating it, pulling it to the bottom, which makes it a higher frequency, which makes it more negatively charged and grounded.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So
thank you, guys.
I just need some clarification, if I could, Darlene. So are you a scientist? Or?
Well, I will give you some of my background. I'm a nutritionist, and I'm a naturopathic consultant, and I'm working on my doctorate and PhD in natural medicine right now.
I see, but you use a microscope, and so you've been looking at urine under the microscope.
So part of my thesis, doing the urine therapy for my thesis, and so I've been looking at the urine, I've been looking at the blood, you know, how is it reacting to the blood therapy, so that we can have some more quantifiable data to show people. Because when we were talking earlier about how do you convince somebody who thinks it's, you know, a toxin, well, I want some more data for those people that are, you know, in their head and need that data.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world who need science to give them a reason to do something. And if you can use science to show them what's actually going on, that's great. But I just want to clarify, you're saying, in your opinion, from looking at urine under the microscope, that it's better not to drink the sediment, that forms at the bottom of aged urine.
And that's what I'm thinking right now, because I saw that bacteria and I saw it being engulfed and then it turned into a crystal and it went to the bottom. Maybe it has some kind of, you know, higher vibration. I'm not sure. I haven't studied it, so I don't know 100%, but from my observation, it seems like it would be not to drink it because it's already been filtered. It's its own cleaning system.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so then the middle portion, right? That how is that different than just fresh urine after the sediment is gone to the bottom?
Because it's done all its cleaning. So, you know what I mean? It's done all the cleaning, and that's why it's got more sediment. So even if you took fresh and put it in a centrifuge, I think you would find about this much sediment compared to if you took that same urine and aged it, and then it would have a bit more.
So the urine that's left above the sediment is more pure than the middle than fresh urine, is what you're saying.
Correct.
It's gone through a deeper purification process.
Right. So it's purifying itself, which is what is so amazing about it. You know what I mean? It's making its own medicine and cleaning itself to give you everything it needs.
So cool. And then, and then just the last question that Matt brought up about the gel, right? You were talking, Matt, you were talking about the gel in the aged urine.
Yes.
And what is, and where is that? Is that a just a completely different layer as opposed to this middle portion in the sediment, or is it somewhere, you know, how does that?
One important point is that water itself can turn into a gel. It has not to do with the content of the water. We can take distilled water, put it in near infrared light, and it will turn into a gel that is with no chemical content in it. So that's maybe partially answering your question. This is something to do with the water, in my opinion. And the content of the water can increase the structure of the water through perhaps light. Biophoton emissions of all the colloidal particles in the water could increase the structure of the water, because as I think I mentioned just now twice, near infrared, biophoton emissions, these lights have a big influence on the structure of water, turning it into gel, which is a structure of the water itself.
So you're saying that the gel is more highly structured than ordinary.
Yeah, I would put the gel exclusion zone gel water as a major category under structuring water, because we can just sing to water and it will gain information. I'd call that structuring water as well. But this is just a major category under structured water, which would be exclusion zone gel.
And I think what you said is you feel like the particles in the gel are actually they're negative ions. They have a negative charge.
The water itself has a negative charge. The gel water.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I want to jump in here. I'm going to jump in here. We got to jump it up to the fifth dimension, guys. We're talking about the fifth state of matter here. Follow with me here. The fifth state of matter, you know, the four states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, air, ether, and plasma. All right. We're drinking ultra-filtered golden blood plasma water. We're talking about 5D here. We're talking about fifth dimension. So this is something that's going to be beyond any concern we have about whether there's a sediment, maybe there's some toxicity. I would say that Harry and I are in the same camp. We're talking about get rid of the dogma, follow your intuition. All drops of urine is precious. And so if you want to get into it from that perspective, you won't waste a drop. You'll use a drop. As a matter of fact, the people who are aging it and drying it out, like Dr. Ross and Hansen, she brought her dried shivambu to the Water of Life Symposium in 2018. And she said, this is what she dried it out in the sun for 9 months. And she says, this is white powder of gold. This is Ormus gold. She passed it around the room. You got a chance to touch it with your finger and lick it. And I swore she was onto something energetically that nobody had figured out yet. So there's more than meets the eye here. Trust your intuition.
She's turning it into crystals.
She did.
Yeah, which is amazing. The energy from that must have been amazing.
It was amazing. And I was holding somebody I admired. I was holding their pee. I thought that was an honor. So take it lightly. Just be careful that you're not letting people get any concern about, well, there might be something dangerous in there. I mean, you can make them aware of it, but don't bring any more fear into the conversation.
Right. And that's what pee is. Pee is, plasma without the, the red blood cells. And it is, it is blood. Remove the red blood cells and you've got plasma. Urine is plasma.
Yes. And plasma, Anja, I want to get to you in a minute. If you remember, not that you've been in this situation, but what's the first thing that first responders do when they get their patient in the gurney in the ambulance on the way to the hospital? They inject them with plasma, right? We happen to have a higher version of plasma that's filtered 1,000,000 times by the nephron system in the kidneys, and they haven't figured it out yet.
Right. And it's your own plasma, which is even better. So it's your own medicine. Why would you want another person's, another animal's, another plasma when you can have your own medicine that is perfectly structured for you?
Yeah, and we sure as hell don't want AI urine. Anja, go ahead.
My name's Anja, by the way.
Thank you.
So I totally love what you do, Darlene, and I think this is really, this is awesome, and that's what we need, because so many people, they need to be convinced by talking to their minds. And yet I touch your feet, Brother Sage, for bringing this courage into trusting our intuition in that, because it's our water and this is our innermost, and I think it's to be fearful of who we are and what we create is highly overrated. It's totally outdated. And I've been introduced to urine therapy like 24 years ago, and I've been always held back because I heard in the beginning, don't use it, don't drink, you're old, only use it outside and this and that. And then I've been living in India for the past 25 years, and then once in a while coming back to Europe, live with my mom, and she's like, oh my God, how can you do this? So I stopped, and I have no more time for this. And due to this group's support, I've been encouraged to just try it out and eat these crystals and try it all. I mean, it's me. And even if it's me, I have some, this is 2 years back, and there's some crystals. I'm still keeping it as a gold for emergency, but I'm going to try that out and tell you. And I wanted to say also, sorry for a long talk, would be nice if some of the guys who are on this journey for a longer time, what's your experience with eating that crystals, with ingesting that? That would be interesting. Have this microscopy on one side, and Christopher's or Brother Sage or somebody's called Harry or whoever bring the experience on. That would be interesting. Thank you guys for letting me talk.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I have to apologize. It looks like the power on my iPad is down to like 9. So I don't want to lose this recording. So is it okay if we just wrap it up? Is that okay, guys?
It's time. Yeah.
So
thank you, Sage.
About storing it or something? Was there one more question?
Miguel left.
That was Miguel. He left, and I would like to answer
next time, then.
I'd like to answer it really quickly. You've got a universal panacea that is so antibacterial, antifungal, nothing can destroy it, infect it, or hurt it. Some people go to the point of putting cheesecloth, mesh cloth, a sprouting bag, or nylon stocking over it with a rubber band, and they're happy because they think that the air going back and forth is going to keep it from getting contaminated. Well, I screw on a lid on mine, and nothing's going to hurt it. I've got some urine that's been stored for 3 or 4 years. So I think it's personal choice how you want to store it. And some people leave it out in the sun. Go ahead.
The only thing I would add to that is you do want some sort of covering, because you don't want fruit flies laying their eggs on top of it, because it is a perfect setting for new life to form. So flies will lay their eggs on it.
Good point. Good point. So guys, we're going to do this again on the 17th. I'm also starting the 20-part series on classes. Nicola, who's from Serbia, is in the class. Anybody who wants to join the class, it's only $5. And contact me through private messenger. Indira, last thoughts. Let's have it.
Shivambu TV.
Shivambu TV, you want to start it?
Well, I don't know. I'm not.
Yes, she wants to start it.
That's another level that we can, just anyone can put things and see this. And I think it's a great idea because I have been to other like Sky Yoga TV. Oh my gosh. I mean, there are hundreds and thousands of people. We had meditated 1.445 million people, really. So let's think about it and put some good energy into it.
Yeah, maybe somebody like Brad Pitt or somebody would
Yes.
produce Shivambu TV.
Well, just so you know, Chad Ochocinco, he's a famous football player. He's talked online about soaking his feet in urine, and he dedicates that to being the #1 reason why he's never been injured in his professional career. And if he spoke about it or got behind it, it'd be easy to get thousands and thousands behind it.
Great. Have him contact me.
I got you.
Let's put him in. Let's put him into the family here. One of my clients, I posted, his name is Malcolm Watson. He is a famous violinist. He's played here in Boulder. He's played here on Broadway. He's played all over the place. He's known as the barefoot violinist. Well, he's performed for Deepak Chopra in some of his major events many, many times. And I've asked him to connect me to Deepak Chopra so we can get an endorsement from Deepak. So anybody's reachable now, guys. So don't be shy. And that's all I got to say. Blessings to each and every one of you.
Be blessed.
Go out and spread the love. Spread the love. Let's have a group hug.
Oh, yes. Woo-hoo.
Okay, buddy.
Hey,
Love
Boogie, I love
you.
you.
Blessing.
Thank you.
Love you. I love you, Brasage. I love you, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, if you want a description or a link to your website, your Facebook page, or anything you want promoted in the description in the YouTube, send it to me and we'll load that when I get a chance. And if you guys want to collaborate in any projects, you know how to reach me or anybody who's on the screen.
Okay, and Sage, I just wanted to, the chat, if you can save the chat and put that information when you send out the video, the links and such.
Yeah, Zoom stores it. I have a chance to download it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Nice
everyone.
to meet you
Thanks,
all.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy journeys.
See you on 17.
Happy journey. Thank you.